And all those that don't is not going to be in Jerusalem, not going to be a city, not going to be a part of it, not going to be the pillars of it, like the pillars of the community. So you could be the pillar of the community, but you're not actually a foundation or light pole or something in the community. It's just saying that you're a stable thing to keep the community stable and can be built upon in a positive manner. So with this language, you know what I'm saying, we can open up dialogue. I mean, I think we all know biblical symbolism and language and things of that nature. So my question still remains, with me doing it this way, how is the Lord going to dwell amongst us or in us? And then from there, it flows back to the situation that the man of sin has to dwell in like manner if he's going to be in the temple of God. That's why the urgency and the magnification of the temple of God. You know, because that's what we got to get an understanding of. The dwelling in the temple of God. What is the temple of God? What is the temple of God to come? Because as we read in Revelation 21, that he was going to be the temple, him and the Father. And he wasn't going to see no temple. So,
Hey, can I ask a question? Because I know I'll probably get cut short once my studio appointment arrives. I wanted to ask a question of in 2 Corinthians 6, right, when he talks about you being the temple of God, he said, I will dwell in them. And wait, hold on. Let me actually pull it up right quick just so I can read it correctly. I want to state it correctly. I think you may have read it earlier before I got here. 2 Corinthians 6. Okay, I got it. 2 Corinthians 6. And it says, what agreement, 6 and 16, what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God. As God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Do anyone know where that's written in the scriptures? I will dwell in them and walk in them.
It's in Corinthians. I can't put.
Oh no! I just read it in Corinthians, but Paul said the Lord said that. So what was his reference? Like, where is it written in the prophets, in the law? Where is that statement written? Off basis, I can't tell you. What is it again? It's, you was reading from? I was reading from 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and 16, where he said, you are the temple of the living God. As God hath said, I will dwell in them. So once he starts saying that, he's saying that this is what the Lord. Yeah, 6 and 16 is where I read from. And the only reason I'm asking that is because...
31.
Huh?
Isaiah.
You said it's in Isaiah?
Jeremiah 31, 33 or something like that. No, Leviticus 26, that's where it's at.
It's in Leviticus chapter 26. That's Leviticus 26?
Verse 12.
Okay. I was looking for it. He said it's in Leviticus 26 and 12? Okay. Now, here, I'm glad that you found it, because I couldn't find it. I was finding one similar in Ezekiel. But if we read Leviticus 26 and 11 here, it's real interesting. Now, notice how Paul says the Most High said, I will walk in them and dwell in them, and they shall be my people. But here it's written, I will set up my tabernacle among you, and my soul shall not abhor you. And I will walk among you, and will be your God, and ye shall be my people. So what about this scripture? What about this did the Spirit tell Paul that the Most High was really letting them know that the true tabernacle was them? And when that tabernacle being among them, so that they could see it, symbolized God being right there among them. But God didn't literally live in that place. And just to show that, I want I want to just put 2 scriptures with it. Second Chronicles, chapter 6. Well, it's actually just 1 scripture, not 2. In 2 Chronicles 6 is something interesting that that old Solomon said when he saw the glory of the Most High fill up the place after they dedicated the temple, and the people, the Levites, couldn't even be quiet. Odyssey. The Levites couldn't even. Excuse me, y'all, for hollering. I got a barking dog outside. So yeah, 2 Chronicles, in the 2 Chronicles chapter 6, verse 1 and 2 says, "Then said Solomon, the Lord hath said that he would dwell in the thick darkness." Now, is that where he lived? But he said, "But I have built a house of habitation for thee, and a place for thy dwelling forever." Right? Now, after he said that, this is what he says. In verse 18, he says, "But will God in very deed dwell with men on the earth? Behold, heaven and the heaven of heavens cannot contain thee. How much less this house which I have built?" He said in 19, "Have respect therefore to the prayer of thy servant." So he basically he even understood that the temple on earth was a symbol from man unto God. Because remember, the Most High told David, "I never told y'all to build me nothing, because I don't dwell in places made by men's hands. So I never told you to do that, David, but I'm going to let you do it to show your love for me." So Solomon, having understanding, was like, look, God really can't live in a place that a man could build with his literal hand. So even at tabernacle in Leviticus, when the Lord said, I set my tabernacle and I'm going to dwell amongst them, and I shall be their God and they shall be my people. Paul stated that meant that the Most High actually would dwell in the people and walk in the people and be their God, because the tabernacle was for men to see. He was trying to show them something, but it never was meant for him to literally live in it. He was letting them know, y'all see this? I just want to finish the statement.
He didn't dwell in the tabernacle, nor did he dwell in the Garden of Eden. But he came amongst Adam and Eve, and he came amongst the children of Israel.
Right.
That was his dwelling place. He did not stay there, because his throne is where? On the right-hand side of the Father, until he get his throne that David set up.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that, but the point that I'm making is that there's something real significant that was written that asks the question, where even in still those who were prophets and who were great men filled with the Spirit still had to ask the question that has never been answered. What is man? Like, what are we really? Like, I know we talk. I mean, we ain't got no choice but to talk and try to understand what we are. But I'm just gonna put out there. That no matter what we say, we still don't really know what we are. And because we don't truly know exactly what we are, I won't make light of, if the Most High say, I'm going to walk in them and dwell in them. If we could build buildings on earth and he accept them as symbols unto him of our love, but he still can't live in them. He truly can't live in them. And even the heavens of heavens can't contain him. What that causes me to perceive is that we can't limit where he can dwell. And so if he says, I'm going to dwell in you, even though we use words like allegory is a word I use a lot. Basically symbolism and allegory are the same thing. Still, when it comes to it, they are synonyms of one another. The Most High say he going to dwell in his people.
Well,
we can't minimize that.
Any different than, let's see if he gonna dwell in us any different, seeing that he don't change. How do we dwell in us now? Seeing that he in heaven on the right hand side of the Father, how do we inhabit these temples or dwell in us now?
Well, when I'm gonna act, well, look, as far, you showed like his word, his words are spirit, they are life. He also told us that our words are spirits, because he said life and death lieth in the power of the tongue.